Good morning, everyone. I'm Brianna Hamblin. Jim and Christina have the day off. We turn now to our top story this morning, the Supreme Court. They have removed the tents that were here in the streets and on the sidewalks. I saw some people trying to gather their belongings. The snow has been coming down steadily here. The wind has been blowing it sideways. I've been hit on my side by the snow all morning. Seabreeze is finally opening again. They have been closed since September 2019. I'm right here next to Alex Culp. He's the operations manager for Seabreeze, and we're on the Music Express. So I say let's go ahead and ride, right? All right. 38 residents were displaced by this fire, including families with small children. You can tell by looking at things like a stroller that's sitting here in the yard, and even some Christmas lights are still lit up in the middle of the rubble, just showing how heartbreaking this is to happen right before Christmas. They declined to go on camera, but I heard the mom, she was screaming about how that was her baby, and she just kept repeating that was her baby, and it was very heart-wrenching to hear. I've actually been talking with Captain Umbrino, and he sent out the city's homicides going back to the 1970s, and this year is the deadliest on record by far. So people can ski into the spring. I'm still working on my skills, so I'll just keep practicing. Yes, the snow definitely looks pretty, but I don't think I'm ready yet.
You're not ready? It's a little too early, you think?
Yeah, a little too early for me. I don't know. I was enjoying the late warmer weather we had, but I mean, I guess it was going to come eventually. The stolen vehicle was going so fast that when it hit the civilian's car, it pushed it down this road about 100 feet into that garage. A 16-year-old who police say forcibly stole a car from someone last week is accused of doing it again. This time, police say 3 teens pointed a gun at a person before taking an SUV. Rondequoit police say that 3 people were involved in this horrific crash. The SUV you see there behind me, we're told that a child and a woman were in that car. If you take a look now, there's the garage door of the house that exploded blown completely off and is across the street. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky says he's hoping to continue peace talks with Russia, but warns there could be a third world war if talks fail. As the sun is coming up, more animals are starting to come out. Look at this beautiful lion. They're ready for breakfast this morning. My pick for the Kentucky Derby didn't win, but Sue here, I think she would do really well. She's going to be my horse for the next 3 weeks. Welcome back. Let's send it over to Mike Goldrick for another check of your forecast. Mike, it seems like spring, winter, they're butting heads. These baby calves grow up to help produce 16,000 gallons of milk a day. And students can meet all of the cows here on Mulligan Farm virtually. Today is Black Friday, known as the biggest holiday shopping day of the year. But the economic recovery from COVID has thrown a wrench in the supply chain. Britney Spears and her many fans got some huge news this weekend. A judge freed the pop megastar from a conservatorship that controlled her life and money for nearly 14 years. I know fans are so excited to be back in the stadium here at Frontier Field, and no one's more excited though than general manager of the Red Wings, Dan Mason. He's so excited that he's already getting a head start making hot dogs for us. All right, so trying to figure out how to attack this.
This is a morning burger cheers, folks, from Palmer's Direct to You Market. Come on down.
David Lovett says when he saw the flames from across the street, he immediately jumped into action and ran inside barefoot to save the elderly couple that lived here.
I couldn't see her. All I could do was hear her. All I could do was just hear her. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And I just reaching for her. And I finally got her, picked her up, brought her out.
Lovett says there was no time to find his shoes. When he got to the house, he pushed the door in and saw the husband was already on his way out. But he asked for Lovett's help.
He was on the porch, and he said, "Go get her, please." That's something anybody would do. When my wife called 911, you guys responded so fast.
The Rochester Fire Department acknowledged what Lovett did to save them before firefighters arrived.
I'm not telling anybody to risk their lives. I mean, what this gentleman did was very brave and everything, but make sure everybody's out of the house, alert the people, and even if the fire's in your own house, smoke detector goes off, make sure everybody wakes up, and gets out. Firefighters were able to stop the spread of the fire to the adjacent houses. Only minor damage to one and none to the other.
The owner of the home with minor damage was displaced, though, along with the couple who lived in the house where the fire started. Lovett says the couple has lived here for about 40 years and that the woman is a cherished member of the community.
And she's truly a child of God. She's always been around.
And it wasn't until we were speaking to him that he realized just how heroic saving them was.
Now that I think about it, that was kind of brave.
Reporting in Rochester, Brianna Hamblin, Spectrum News. Anxious anglers arrived at Powder Mills Park long before the sun came up, trying to stake out the best spot to catch the biggest trout in the Reedman Foundation Trout Derby. People waited close to the creek for the clock to hit 7, officially kicking off the start of the Derby and giving them the okay to cast their lines.
I know it is. It's okay. No, it's okay, Heath.
And just like that,
Go ahead.
only a couple minutes in, and one man got lucky with a huge brown trout, putting him in the running
Pick him up like that. Good.
to win a $500 prize. But for some people, the best part of the Derby isn't catching the biggest fish.
Spending time with family, because we get to try and win a big fish and a prize, but even if we don't, I get to spend time with them and have a lot of fun. It makes it special because they're there to support me.
Alexa Mulcahy is here with her big sister Madison.
I am kind of looking forward to at least catching a fish. It'd be really exciting if I win something, but my main goal is really just to catch something.
And their grandpa, Thomas Axe, who's been taking them to the Derby since before they can even remember.
It's a tradition, really. It's the 1st of April, the beginning of spring. I love being here with my granddaughters and grandson. Being, together as a family and enjoying a common sport and learning how to enjoy what nature provides us.
But this year, the Derby means more for them as a family than it has in the past. Last year, COVID forced the event to be canceled, and a year of isolation followed.
The whole thing was bad. Last week was the first time I saw my granddaughters in a year. That allowed me since I got both vaccinations. So this is really special this year.
With COVID-safe fishing regulations in place, their tradition can continue, and families can create more memories together.
It's just fun, and there's so many new things you can actually see, accomplish, and hear from spending time together.
In Pittsford, Brianna Hamblin, Spectrum News. Throughout my time covering the violence in Rochester, I have spoken to one too many mothers who tell me no one understands the pain they're going through after losing their child to senseless violence. Now some of those moms are ready to help each other and have a message for the city. If you guys were to see your sons again today and could say something to them, what would you want to say?
I did have a dream, and I did tell him that I loved him and I missed him, and he said, "Mom, I love you and I miss you too."
It would be nothing else, but I need you here. I need my Fave 5 to be whole again so that I can be whole again.
My son was like my friend, so I don't have that anymore. I just miss everything about him.
Marvetta Cook lost her son Trenton in June of last year after he was shot on North Clinton Avenue. He was 35 years old. Tatiana Bogar, a close friend of Cook, lost her son Lyshawn October of last year on Trenneman Street. He was 18. And Gwendolyn Allen's son Armani died after being shot and stabbed outside of the Rochester Transit Center just over a month ago, on the day the city broke a record for most homicides in a year. He was 24. The 2021 homicide rate sadly didn't slow down after Armani, leaving a growing number of mothers feeling broken.
I still sometimes accidentally call his phone. Losing a child just hits different. Can't explain the pain, it's just always pain.
This is why Tatiana is working on a nonprofit, Mothers with Children Against Violence.
This group is just what can we do to benefit each other? I'm hurting, you're hurting, you're hurting. What can we do for the next mother? God forbid she hurts and she got to go through this and don't have nothing that we were blessed with.
Consistent support and a sisterhood that no mother wants to be a part of, but too many mothers need. As they mourn, they want nothing more than to get to the root of the problem.
For black children, there are no resources. So they are forced to find their own way, some on the streets, some selling drugs, just they're lost. I mean, as parents, you only can do so much.
They say they would like to see more funding put into local rec centers and more adults working in them who will make sure children have a safe place after school and role models to look up to.
If you want them off the streets, you gotta give them a place to go.
I also feel like it starts at home. There's a lot of single mothers raising boys. A mother cannot raise a boy to be a man.
Nope.
We need fathers to step up.
We've lost that. It takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
They run to the streets. The men on the streets are their role model. Where are children 14 and under getting access to guns? It's the streets, because they're around these older men that are their role models.
If you could speak to someone thinking about taking someone else's life, what would you tell them today?
You have to think about your actions and what it may cause to family members and friends. You can't take it back once you pull that trigger.
No one, and I mean no one, should make you that angry that you want to see them dead.
You're not just causing that mother to be in pain, but you're going to cause your own mother to be in pain, because your life is going to be taken just as well when you're caught. We both lose in the end, but I'm losing worse.
So they beg for people to end the violence so more mothers don't have to feel what they're feeling. Now, when I sat down to talk with them, we went over a lot of issues that I couldn't even fit into this story. But one of them was that each one of them says bail reform was the reason their son's killers were out and able to do what they did. And they say they plan to speak out about this.
It's really such an honest look, honest interviews with these mothers together, sharing some of their pain and what they believe is the reality behind it, with the violence that's happening.
There have been groups in the past that have done this, that have created support for people. What does Tatiana hope to do with this group, Brianna?
Yeah, Tatiana plans to help mothers with the cost of funerals, because they talked about how extremely expensive it was for them to go through that. And she also hopes that her nonprofit will bring together families like hers so that siblings also going through this can have a community that understands each other.
All right, Brianna Hamblin in our studio with us this morning. Great story, Bri. Thanks.